Hi everybody, it's me, Mike Celestino from laughingplace.com, and I have received this package in the mail from our friends at Hasbro. It is a box of toys from Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, the new movie from Lucasfilm. It's been out in the theaters for a couple weeks now, but I just got this in the mail yesterday. And I want to thank Hasbro, first of all, for sending this over to Laughing Place and to me specifically. Let's go ahead and open it up and check out what's inside. I have a feeling I might have already bought some of this stuff because I am a big fan of the Mandoverse and I am a big toy collector, but let's check it out and see what we've got here. All right, first thing that strikes me is we've got several figures from the vintage collection, the smaller 3 3/4 inch scale action figures. We've got another 4 action figures from the Black Series, the 6-inch scale, and we've got a bigger Grogu toy and then a Grogu blind box. Maybe we should do this first. If you go back and watch a video that I made last week, I believe, from Disney Products, we got another one of these. It's Grogu Snack Attack, which is a blind box collection of Grogu little plastic toy statues, and there's a bunch of different ones that you can get. Let's find out which one we got this time from Hasbro. Grogu Snack Attack. This is going to be Grogu with a drink box. Let's see, it says J-U-I-C-E in Arabesh, the fictional Star Wars alphabet. So it's a juice box, J-U-I-C-E, and Grogu is very cutely, is that a word? Adorably sipping from that juice box that's almost as big as him with his ears kind of tucked back. That's nice. We got a different one last time. I think it was the one with him eating a big purple waffle. So that's cool to get a different one of those. The Grogu Snack Attack blind box. Now let's start diving into some of this other stuff. I'll leave the big Grogu for last, and we'll start looking at the vintage collection 3 3/4 inch figures. This is an Imperial Remnant AT-AT or AT-AT driver, and you can see him in the movie. He's in the opening scene, that big opening action scene that I love with Grogu and the Mandalorian invading and attacking the Imperial Remnant AT-AT as it tries to escape with an Imperial Remnant warlord. And this is one of the pilots who were driving the AT-AT. And this design comes from The Empire Strikes Back. It's kind of recycled from that, but it's a new figure for the Mandalorian and Grogu, and it's really cool. It's got a working holster, which I always like to see. You can put the blaster in the holster, like so, or you can take it out, and you can have the AT-AT pilot holding the blaster like that. Here's a look at the front side. Nice sculpting and paint job. There's the back side. Always good to have more Imperial or Imperial Remnant troops, and this is no exception. The AT-AT pilot, Imperial Remnant AT-AT pilot from The Mandalorian and Grogu. Next we've got, I'm very happy to have this one. It's Zeb Orrelios as he appears in The Mandalorian and Grogu. This character originated on the Star Wars Rebels animated series. He's recently graduated to live action. He appeared in The Mandalorian Season 3 very briefly, and then now in the movie The Mandalorian and Grogu, he has a featured role. Let's go ahead and open him up. This is a deluxe figure from the vintage collection, meaning it's a little bit bigger, because Zeb is a larger character than your average humanoid in the Star Wars galaxy. So I'm going to open him, take him out of the bubble here, the blister pack, and then we'll take his weapons out here as well. Get rid of that tape. Okay, there's Zeb, and we'll have him hold this one. I believe my understanding or my assumption is that these are both intended to be the same weapon in a different configuration. This is how it looks when it's fully extended, and this is when it's folded up into a smaller, like, rifle configuration. But it looks cool either way, and you can pose him however you like with whatever version of that weapon you would like to see him holding. He's got the cool New Republic flight suit on. He's got the New Republic insignia there. There's the backside of Zeb. And I really like that design of the character. I really like this new figure. Let's do a size comparison between the Imperial Remnant AT-AT pilot and Zeb here. Of course, Zeb is about a full head bigger than the AT-AT pilot. Very nice. Third up here in the 3 3/4 inch vintage collection, we've got the Mandalorian and Grogu themselves. Now, you may recall, again, if you watched that Disney Products video from the mailer that I got, they sent along this same deluxe vintage collection set. In fact, here they are right here, the Mandalorian and Grogu. This is my opened action figure of the same deluxe set. I recall my one complaint about this set was that the helmet is not removable to reveal Pedro Pascal's head. It also didn't come with like an alternate head of Pedro Pascal that you could put on there. You know, sometimes I know they have trouble getting the standard size helmet, the appropriately scaled helmet, to fit on top of the action figure head. So it would have been nice to include an alternate Pedro Pascal head. Otherwise, I do think it's a really cool looking figure. You got the jetpack, you've got Grogu attachable there on the side of the jetpack, and it comes with 3 weapons: the rifle, the blaster, again with the working holster, and this little sword that Din Djarin uses in the pit fight in the movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. So I'm going to leave this one in the packaging. I've already opened that one. You can go and check out that video if you like. Here is the first of the Black Series figures included in this mailer from Hasbro. This is another version of the Imperial Remnant AT-AT driver. And here's the size comparison again to 3 3/4 inch scale versus 6 inch scale Black Series. So let's go ahead and open this one up. Here we go, Black Series AT-AT driver. He does come with the blaster pistol. And much like the smaller scale 3 3/4 inch version, he has a working holster. Pretty much, I want to say this is going to be the exact same figure as the 3 3/4 inch scale vintage collection version, but not quite twice as big, but close to it. And I really like it just the same as I do the smaller version. There's the back side, there's the front side of the AT-AT driver, and we have to do the size comparison again. Let's take the blaster out of the holster and put it in his hand here to give him the same pose as the smaller scale version. There's the comparison: 3 3/4 inch vintage collection versus 6 inch Black Series. With the bigger figure, you get a little bit more detail and some nicer, more detailed paint application as well. But both great looking figures. I know some people are very faithful to the 3 3/4 inch scale because it is what the Star Wars franchise started out with. But I These days, I am more of a collector of the Black Series, although I do appreciate me a good vintage collection figure as well. Let's move on to the next one. It's going to be Sigourney Weaver's character, Colonel Ward, from the New Republic, in the 6-inch Black Series scale. Now, this is one that I have already purchased for myself. I'm a big fan of Sigourney Weaver as an actress, from the Ghostbusters movies, from the Alien movies. She's done a ton of stuff over the decades since I was a kid. So, you know, I was thrilled to hear that Sigourney Weaver would be joining the Star Wars universe. This figure does have a removable helmet. So the only problem I had here was that the visor does come off as well. And I've noticed that it pops off when I don't want it to. But there, you can kind of just pop it back in there. And this is what she looks like without her helmet on. My one complaint with this one was it didn't include a weapon. There's no blaster, which you figure... I mean, I don't think they show her ever holding a weapon in the movie, because there's just the one scene in the beginning where she's wearing a different outfit, and then she shows up at the end, spoiler alert, in the X-Wing with this outfit. And I don't believe she has a blaster, so I guess it makes sense that they didn't include that, but it's always nice to get weapons. And they used to do that in the, oops, yep, see, there goes the visor. So that's a little bit of an issue, but like I said, it's not that hard to pop the yellow visor right back in there on the helmet. And they used to, you know, include a weapon whether the character has one or not, and I kind of wish they had done so with this figure. Otherwise, I don't have too many complaints, and I'm just thrilled to have Sigourney Weaver in the Black Series, in Colonel Ward as the X-Wing pilot. Next up, we've got the Mandalorian and Grogu themselves, Star Wars The Black Series from the movie The Mandalorian and Grogu. There's the back side, and guess what? This is another set that I have already purchased for myself. Again, I'm a big toy collector. I'm a big fan of the Mandoverse. I like the movie. And this is what it looks like. I've got a lot of different figures of the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, at this point. They've released him numerous times. This is a good one. It's got the most current version of the armor. It's got the most current version of Grogu. It is a little tricky to get him to hang on here. I guess you kind of have him hold on to the strap, or figure out how to have him hold on to the jetpack. He doesn't attach via a peg like he does in that smaller scale 3 3/4 inch version. Once again, it would have been very nice to have Pedro Pascal's likeness under there, but they did not include that. You know, he doesn't like to take his helmet off, but he does every once in a while, whether he has to or he chooses to, and he does in the movie. So it would have been nice to have an alternate Pedro Pascal head here. The weapons are cool. I've got the little alternate hand that he came with, just so I don't lose it. I attached it to the rifle there, but otherwise he's got the same weapons as the vintage collection version. In fact, let's do a comparison. So there's 6-inch Din Djarin the Mandalorian with Grogu versus 3 3/4 inch the Mandalorian. I mean, you can't go wrong. You kind of need these guys if you're gonna have a Mandalorian toy collection. If you're starting out, these are the guys you're gonna want to get. I did buy this one mostly for the updated armor and the newer version of Grogu. I'm probably pretty good as far as it goes, as far as like the Mandalorian himself. I don't really need any others for the time being, unless they drastically change his look in the future. But for right now, I'm pretty happy with these. All right, this next one is probably the one I'm most excited about in this box, because this is relatively newly announced. I think they didn't announce or reveal any images of this figure until after the movie came out. This is the Star Wars The Black Series Zeb Orrelios. We saw the 3 3/4 inch version earlier. The Mandalorian, yeah, this is like this kind of annoys me a little bit. Every description on the back of these boxes is the same. It's just a generic line of the premise of the movie. You would think they would tell you a little bit about the character. But yeah, here's Zeb from Rebels again, and now in live action in The Mandalorian and Grogu. He's got an alternate head on this one, which is cool. He's got those same two different versions of the same weapon, I believe. And let's go ahead and open them up here. Black Series 6-inch scale Zeb. He's in that same scale as the 6-inch figures, but again, because this character is a bit larger, his figure is going to be a bit bigger than 6 inches. Alright, let's pop Zeb out of here. We'll take a look at his figure first. Uh-oh, I lost his hand. Well, that'll just pop right back on. It's got a little ball joint there. The hand reattaches like that. Easy peasy. No big deal. There's the back side of Zeb. There's the front side of Zeb. And in this one, because the detailing is a little bit better than the Vintage Collection version, you can actually read the Arabesh on his flight suit. Okay, so it's upside down. The intent, I've seen this in Galaxy's Edge too. They did it with some of the flight suits there, and I think it's a reflection of a real world type thing for pilots, but in Arabesh upside down it says pull to inflate, I believe. So basically this vest would act as like a flotation device in the case of a water landing, right? Really nice figure. Let's compare him in size to the 6-inch Black Series Sigourney Weaver Colonel Ward figure. Again, about a head larger than that toy. And then I'm gonna get out his weapon. Well, you know what? Let's do the alternate head first. So the difference is the head that is on Zeb here is happy. He's smiling, and then the alternate head is gonna be scowling. He's not quite as happy there. Let's put Angry Zeb on the figure. Now we got Angry Zeb face, and I'll pop out his weapons here. Okay, this is interesting. The smaller, the folded up version, you can separate into two pieces, but that's not the case with the larger version, although the handles do fold down. Okay, so that's true of both versions. You can fold down, open up the handles. Let's put them in his hands here. Okay, so there he is holding both weapons, both versions of that weapon. And there's the size comparison between the 6-inch scale on the right here and the 3 3/4-inch scale Zeb Orrelios, Garazeb Zeb Orrelios from Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. There's the backside of Zeb on both scales. Very nice, very glad to have those. And then lastly, in this box, looks like, well, there's a little card telling us, yeah, this is a nice gift from Hasbro, sending this over to us to share with you. So thank you to Hasbro for sending this box of toys. We've got the last one here is Action Buddy Grogu. This is not the $600 Grogu, by the way. This is a much more affordable. In fact, let me look up how much this costs. All right, I looked it up, and this is about $50 at Target and Walmart. It varies depending on the retailer, but around $50 is what you can expect to pay for Action Buddy Grogu. Here's the back side of the box. You can move him for reactions. He can lay down for a nap. You can touch and hold for the Force. And there's a kid playing with Grogu there on the back. In the photo on the back of the box, there's 50 plus sound and action combos. Here's the side showing that Grogu makes noises, he can sleep. There's the other side. A look at Grogu. He's in the bubble of the N1 starfighter here, which never happens in the movie. But there's another drawing or painting of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Here's the front side. You can try me, which... Move for reactions, touch and hold for the Force. Let's open him up and see what else we can do with Action Buddy Grogu. I'm going to clear all this off, open up the box, and we'll get him out and see what else he does. Alright, let's go ahead and start tearing this open here. This is Action Buddy Grogu from Hasbro. And he's got some attachments here on the back. Let's cut those open. Grogu's laughing while I'm doing this. He's enjoying it. I want to make sure I'm not cutting anything important here, but we're going to slice right in to what's holding him attached to the box. Okay, I got his back out. Oh, and there's these little clips here. I think I gotta untwist those. There we go. Second one. There we go. That way. Alright, let's take a look. I always make the mistake of not looking at the instructions first, so let's correct that. Action Buddy Grogu, ages 4 and up, from Hasbro and Disney. Okay, we got oh, there's already batteries in there because we know he's working. And then you switch him to on mode. There's movement mode, there's sleeping mode, there's petting mode. I guess that's touch and hold for Force. And then same when he's lying down. Well, let's try all that. So I think the demo mode turned off when I removed him from the box. Ooh. A little stray piece in there. All right. He's in on mode now. He kind of likes being given shaken baby syndrome here. Some very funny laughing baby noises. All right, let's try sleep mode. So he does snore when put to sleep, and you go wake him back up. His eyes open back up. That's fun. And then we got to try Force mode, right? Here we go. I'm not sure what makes that. Oh, there we go. Okay. There is him. There's his Force usage mode. Try that one more time. You can also do the same when he's sleeping. So that's kind of his force mode when he's sleeping. You wake him back up. So yeah, that's pretty fun. It says 50 plus. Over 50 different sound and movement combos. I really like that his eyes move around and open and close. That adds a lot of life to little Grogu here. And we have a lot of Grogu toys that we've been sent or we've bought over the years since the character was introduced. So this is a good one. This is a fun one. I think kids especially will get a kick out of this Action Buddy Grogu. Like I said, it's not the $600 one that's the most accurate one that Hasbro has done yet with all those special bells and whistles. But this is a nice, much more affordable $50 Action Buddy Grogu that I think if kids are fans of the film or of the show, they are going to get a real kick out of that. Action Buddy Grogu from Hasbro. All right, here's everything that was in this Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu mailer that we received from our friends at Hasbro. You've got the Vintage Collection and the Black Series Imperial Remnant, AT-AT or AT-AT driver. And then you've got the Mandalorian and Grogu themselves in both the Black Series and the Vintage Collection. You've got Action Buddy Grogu with over 50 movement and sound combinations. You've got the Grogu Snack Attack figure. I got the little juice box there, which is adorable. Black Series Colonel Ward, and then both Black Series and the Vintage Collection Zeb Aurelios, which are the ones that I was most excited to get in this box because I haven't seen them in stores yet. I didn't pre-order them yet, so I'm super happy to add those to my collection. Very exciting. Thank you once more to our friends at Hasbro for sending these over. The Mandalorian and Grogu is still playing in theaters, and you can pre-order some of these, and you can order some of these at HasbroPulse.com or pick them up at Disney Parks or Disney Store or wherever you get your toys. My name is Mike Celestino from LaughingPlace.com. Thank you so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.